Since Krypto will appear in the Superman movie, let's talk about him. He's not a stranger to audience either, because he has already shown up in many animations before. Krypto was first introduced in 1955. Like many characters introduced during the golden age of comics, his origin story comes in many versions. But in this video, we'll focus on the 3 most beloved and strongest stories about Krypto. The first origin comes from Adventure Comics issue 210, released in 1955. This comic is about Superman's life as Superboy before he became the Man of Steel. One day, while Clark Kent was on his way to his father's shop, he saw a group of people trying to capture a dog. But the dog broke through a car wall and escaped. Clark Kent was a bit surprised but chose not to chase after the dog. Instead, he helped repair the damaged car first. When he arrived at his father's shop, he found that it was being attacked by robbers. Clark Kent didn't want to reveal his powers in front of people, so he decided to wait until the robbers left the shop before going after them. However, when the robbers came out, the same dog he had seen earlier sprang into action, chasing and biting the robbers. They shot at the dog, thinking it was just a regular dog, but the bullets didn't harm him. Realizing the dog had powers similar to his own, Clark Kent knew there was something very special about him, even though he didn't yet know exactly what. From that moment, the bond between the two grew. Krypto then led Superboy to a hidden rocket ship. Inside, there was a letter explaining everything. This rocket had been launched by Kryptonians. It turned out that this little dog, Krypto, was once the beloved pet of the House of El. Jor-El, Superboy's father, had tested the rocket by sending Krypto away, hoping that if Krypton was ever destroyed, he could save his son the same way. Shortly after the test, Krypton's fate forced Jor-El to send Kal-El to Earth. However, Kal-El's rocket arrived safely and much earlier. Krypto's ship had crashed into an asteroid along the way, throwing it off course and delaying his arrival by many years. Now that Krypto had arrived on Earth, he couldn't fully control his strength yet. Just like a normal dog chasing bicycles and motorcycles, Krypto chased an airplane, almost causing it to crash. At one point, in public, Krypto bit into a large metal bar and brought it to Clark, almost exposing Superboy's secret identity. Thankfully, Clark managed to throw the bar far away and pretended that the flying Krypto was just Superboy, saving his secret identity. Later on, during DC Comics' Silver Age, Krypto appeared in many Superman comics. But during the 1970s, known as the Bronze Age, Superman comics stopped featuring Krypto for a while. It wasn't until around 1975 that Krypto made a comeback. This time, his origin wasn't told from the very beginning but picked up after Krypto had already arrived on Earth. While wandering around Metropolis, Krypto fell in love with a female dog. But just as he was smitten, he spotted Superman flying overhead, and that sight triggered memories of his forgotten past. Before arriving on Earth, Krypto had crash-landed on another planet. There, he had faced a terrifying enemy known as the Mindbreaker Beast. As its name suggests, the Mindbreaker could control and manipulate minds. Although Krypto heroically saved the people of that planet, the Mindbreaker Beast brainwashed him, causing him to lose all memory of who he was. But seeing Superman again broke through the brainwashing, bringing his memories flooding back. Even though he still liked the female dog, Krypto chose to follow Superman first, helping him stop a robbery before returning to the one he loved. Sadly, the female dog was frightened by his powers, and poor Krypto ended up getting rejected. Even a superdog isn't immune to heartbreak. The third and final origin comes from Action Comics issue 776, published in 2001, a more modern era. A villain named Brainiac 13 had created a fake version of Krypton called False Krypton. Brainiac had all the knowledge of the real Krypton. After Superman defeated General Zod, he was reunited with his father and mother on False Krypton. Although it was only a brief reunion, when Superman returned to Earth, Krypto came along with him. But this Krypto wasn't the same old superdog. He was just an ordinary dog raised by Superman's parents on False Krypton. Throughout DC Comics, Krypto's master had always been Superman, but this version had a different master. In this story, Superman gifted Krypto to Superboy Connor Kent. And from then on, Krypto became Superboy's loyal companion. In many later comics, Krypto and Superboy were almost always seen together. The deep bond that once existed between Superman and Krypto faded away. Fans agreed Krypto and Superboy were a perfect match. Some even said that Connor Kent was Krypto's true master. During the Infinite Crisis event, heroes had to face the terrifying might of Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime was so powerful that even the Teen Titans and the Justice Society had to join forces against him. In the end, it came down to a fierce battle between Superboy Prime and Connor Kent. Tragically, both of them died in that battle. Searching for his master, Krypto discovered that Superboy Prime had killed Connor. Heartbroken, Krypto howled, a sorrowful cry that echoed across the entire world. He then went to a special place on the moon where he and Connor had once played together, mourning his lost master in silence. This part is a silent issue and deeply portrays Krypto's emotions. This can also be considered Krypto's final moments. In terms of superpowers, Krypto has all the same abilities as Superman. Although he isn't as powerful as Superman because he's a dog, he's still much more intelligent than normal animals. That's why he is also the leader of the League of Super Pets. Besides appearing in animations, he also showed up in live action in the Titans series. In the newest Superman movie, Krypto isn't exactly like the comic version. He's portrayed as an adorable little puppy instead. So that's it for this video. See you in the next one and have a wonderful day.